Okay, it's going to be a busy day today and the weather looks really sketchy with all that clouds. I guess I'll try to fly, as soon as possible anyways, because I don't know how much time I have left. And with that in mind, what did I read today? Seems like there was a lot of news on the East Coast. Some of them makes you wonder what is going on. But how about this first one where I guess apparently there's going to be drones on ships? It says Ottawa signs contract with Canadian firm to make drones for Halifax-class ships. The federal government has contracted a Canadian firm to outfit the Royal Canadian Navy's Halifax-class ships with a small fleet of aerial drones. Ottawa announced it has awarded 2 contracts to MDA Space for up to 6 advanced uncrewed aircraft systems for the Navy's patrol frigates. The Department of National Defense says in a news release that this will boost the Navy's long-range maritime surveillance abilities. The department has earmarked $39 million to acquire the first 2 drones with an option of ordering another 4. The new drone capability is expected to start coming online in 2028 and to be working at full capacity by 2032. So that's kind of interesting. Let's see what comes about there anyways. And then how about this one where apparently somebody self-incriminated themselves for quote overfishing because I guess of their use of a drone and the footage that they had. This one here says anglers' own drone footage helps convict them of overfishing. Ontario is continuing its crackdown on anglers who ignore overfishing rules and do not comply with provincial quotas and regulations. To this end, it can be extremely helpful when the anglers themselves keep a photo record of their illegal catch. The province has reported that 3 individuals were recently prosecuted for illegal fishing practices and were fined a total of $6,000, said a news release from the Ontario Ministry of Natural Resources Enforcement branch. So what happened? It says eventually during the investigation, the conservation officers seized a flying drone from the group. A search warrant was obtained for the drone, revealing videos and images of the 3 individuals catching and retaining walleye as well as occupying land in Ababika River Provincial Park without permits. Imagine that. I guess they wanted to do it for memories, for example, but I guess it didn't turn out very well in that regards. And this was kind of crazy in terms of things like regulations and all that. Apparently, further east in Nova Scotia, they're actually banning people from going hiking where you could get a substantial fine if you do so, like $25,000. What in the world, huh? So you can see this post here. It says travel activities in woods restricted to prevent wildfires. The province is restricting travel and activities in the woods because continued hot, dry conditions have greatly increased the risk of wildfires. The restrictions effective as of 4 p.m. today, August 5th, include hiking, camping, fishing, and the use of vehicles in the woods are not permitted. Trail systems through woods are off limits. Camping is allowed only in campgrounds. These and other measures are in place on provincial, crown, and private land until October 15th or until conditions allow them to be lifted. The fine for violating the restrictions is $25,000. So literally, just going for a walk or a little hike, for example, in the forest could land you a $25,000 fine. And in this case, it's justified because it's to prevent things like wildfires. Are you kidding me? You can even see, I guess, the media sessions they had too.
We're here today because the experts have advised, and we agree, that more precautionary steps are required. We have to stay in front of this. We can take steps while we are in the middle of trying to fight fires, or we can be proactive and try to prevent them. And we have chosen to be proactive and try to prevent fires. So based on the recommendations of Scott Tingley and his team, they recommended, and we agree with the following. Effective 4 p.m. today, we're telling Nova Scotians, stay out of the woods. We are restricting travel and activities that really aren't necessary for most of us. Hiking, camping, fishing, and the use of vehicles in the woods are not permitted. Trail systems through woods are off limits. Camping is allowed, but only in official campgrounds. The fine for violating any of these bans is the same as the fine for the ban on burning, $25,000.
And you thought over-the-top drone regulations were nuts, where people say it's all about safety. How would you react to this? That seems absolutely insane, in my opinion. I mean, what's next? In order to protect, I guess, the whole environment, everybody better stay inside their house forever. You'll be provided services from the government, for example. They'll do the shopping and stuff for you, but you have no choice. Like, what is this? That's ridiculous. Would you ever imagine this is actually a path to a film studio and you could actually argue this is, quote, hiking? Imagine this being illegal. Alright, see you guys later.